Okay, so this is Lex at maxfuture.com, and this is a first look at the SCOtutor for Lion app that just came out in the Mac App Store from Don McAllister of Screencasts Online. So let's take a look at it, and let me tell you about it. Now, for years I have followed Don McAllister, a charming Liverpoolian. I first became aware of Don because sometime in the last decade, he started a business of doing video screencast tutorials of Macintosh apps and operating systems. I consider him to be the king of how to do a screencast tutorial. He has offered some of his tutorials for free, though through iTunes and on his website, screencastsonline.com. And he also has a paid subscription where you can get his full library of useful tutorials. Don is also a regular guest on various Apple-related podcasts such as Leo Laporte's MacBreak Weekly. So through his excellent screencasts and podcasts appearances, I have also become familiar with Don and how important he is in the Mac and Apple universe. Recently, Don has undertaken a new method to release and sell his video screencast tutorial. Earlier this week, on October 21st, 2011, Don released an application through the Mac App Store. Don gave me a code so I could get a free version of the app for review purposes. The app is called SCOtutor for Lion, and it costs $3.99. This Mac app is essentially a video screencast tutorial on Apple's new Lion operating system for the Macintosh. It basically covers the key new features of Lion. As Lion is a major upgrade from the previous OS X for the Mac, there are some tricky new features, and the SCOtutor app is there to provide users with hand-holding in learning how to use the new features. Here are key stats regarding the SCOtutor for Lion app. It has over 2 hours of video, which cover 12 major topics and has 60 chapters. There are 12 chapters: Introduction to Lion, Gestures in Lion, Full Screen Apps in Lion, Mastering Mission Control, Launchpad, Resume in Lion, Autosave in Lion, Versions in Lion, Using Safari in Lion, Using Mail in Lion, Enhancements to Preview, Address Book in Lion, and iCal in Lion. The subchapters can be very detailed. For example, the Using the Finder chapter has 10 subchapters, each highlighting and explaining key new features in Lion's Finder. Bottom line, Don has a lot of content in here. One of the key strengths of Don's screencast tutorials, which is also present here, is that Don is highly professional, so the videos have no wasted space and everything is edited perfectly. Don doesn't do anything annoying or flashy with callouts or special effects. Rather, Don judiciously uses callouts and highlights to effectively focus the viewer on the lesson. Also, Don's sound editing is great. There are no hisses or pops, and his voice is easy to listen to and matter-of-fact. Don's narration is strong, as he gets to the heart of the lesson and doesn't use unnecessary verbiage. In addition to learning key features in Lion and how to use them, you are essentially getting a great lesson on how to do a screencast tutorial. So who should get the SCOtutor for Lion app? First, any newbie Macintosh users or Macintosh users with limited skills should definitely get this $3.99 app. It will really help you get the most out of Lion. Lion is filled with cool new features and Don takes you through them. Many are not so obvious that you can just start using them. For example, in the Finder chapter, Don has a subchapter on using AirDrop. AirDrop is this really cool new feature in Lion where you can transfer any file over a common Wi-Fi network to anyone else running Lion on a Macintosh. AirDrop is built into the Finder, and you can drag a file into the AirDrop window if you see that AirDrop recognizes another Macintosh on the Wi-Fi network you are on. You can also send it to the other Macintosh, and the other Macintosh can choose to receive the file. I use this all the time to transfer my podcast files from my MacBook Air to my iMac after I have finished recording my podcast. As Lion saturates Macintoshes, people will use AirDrop to transfer files to a friend when at a cafe with Wi-Fi or in a school dorm with Wi-Fi. Moreover, businesses with employees on a Wi-Fi network can easily transfer files among employees through this great feature. Now, Don's tutorial takes you through how to find and use this great feature. Sure, Apple explains these new Lion features on its website, but the SCOtutor for Lion app has an in-depth, great explanation. And since it's all in the app, you don't have to have an internet connection. So, if you are traveling and stuck on a plane with no internet, you can spend 2 hours watching this tutorial. And because it has chapters and subchapters, it is easy to stop and try out something you learned in a tutorial. Second, intermediate Macintosh users as well as experienced power Macintosh users could also consider getting this app. While such users may be familiar with Lion and its new features, it's very likely that they are missing out on all the great little features in Lion. I consider myself a power Macintosh user. I've been using a Macintosh at home since I got the first Macintosh that Apple came up with in the 1980s. I still find Don's tutorial online to be highly informative. For example, I learned how to better use the keyboard shortcuts in the Mail app in Lion. I also was reminded to use key new features like the great annotation tools in Preview, which allows you to use speech bubble in photos and documents. The point is, for a mere $4, the SCOtutor for Lion app is a great way to really drill in your mind the great new features in Lion and get you to use them more. Sure, you can read about most of the features on Apple's website, but you might not really get to know all the great little tools Apple gave you unless Don takes you calmly through the features. So for the cost of a cappuccino, it's definitely worth getting this tutorial app. One thought I had as I was reviewing the SCOtutor app was, why did Don McAllister release this Lion tutorial as a Mac app rather than just as a screencast movie through his website or iTunes? He could have still charged $3.99 for the movie. So what features do you get in the app that you wouldn't get if Don released it as a movie? Well, one feature is that while you could have chapters in the movie, you wouldn't have subchapters. Having subchapters as well as chapters really makes it much easier to hone in on the lesson you want to study. Another feature not in the movie function of iTunes or QuickTime is the ability in the SCO app to jump backward or forward in 30-second increments and also have multiple playback speeds. Also, the SCO app supports subtitles in multiple different languages: English, Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, simplified Chinese, and French, which is coming soon. I don't think you can do that in iTunes. And of course, there's a very comprehensive help menu selection, which wouldn't be something you would get if you just had a movie tutorial in iTunes. But I think going forward, much more could be done by Don McAllister or anyone else thinking of using a Mac app as a vehicle for doing a tutorial. In addition to a movie screencast, each chapter or subchapter could have text pages with still picture illustrations. Even cooler, you could have a tutorial app that gives you a quiz or tests your knowledge at the end of each chapter. I guess if one is using an app as a vehicle, it would be nice seeing more app-like multimedia features. But let's face it, if Don McAllister added more features, he would probably have to raise the price beyond $3.99. At $3.99, you are getting a great value in the SCOtutor for Lion app. So this is what the app looks like when you first launch it. You have a sort of plain linen-like screen, and at the top it says SCOtutor for Lion. When you scroll your pointer down, you get the little video menu, video controller bar, and you can see here you've got the 30-second fast forward and the 30-second go back, and that's handy for just quickly rewinding or fast forwarding through a section you don't want. As you could see, the length of the total video is 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 20 seconds. To the right of that, you've got the different speed settings, 1 time, 1.5 times speed, half speed, 0.75 speed if you really wanted to slow down. And above that, you have your, you can have it take up the whole screen, and you can go back by pressing that button. You can also toggle through the subtitles. You have right now English, Spanish, non-English, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, French will soon be added. let's add English. When you add that, you get a, let's see, you get a, well, you should get the sub. Let's see, there we go. There you go. There's the subtitle, which is kind of cool. So, and then to the left of that, you have, you can select the topics. There are 10 topics. There's 11, including introduction. So you have introduction, subtopic help, then you have gestures in Lion, and there you've got natural scrolling, changes to spotlight, smart, zoom, smart, zoom and rotate, swipe between pages. Another topic is full screen apps in Line. This is a great feature in Line where all apps can become full screen. Another topic is mastering mission control. Mission control is a great feature. I use it a lot. You can assign different desktops, and you can see Don McAllister spends more time. There's more sub-chapters in that. Launchpad is a topic. Resume in Lion. So he goes into more depth in some of the topics than others. The autosave feature in Lion. Versions in Lion. The Finder has the most subtopics. There's 10 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then using Safari in Line, using Mail in Line. The Mail app gets a lot of chapters. And enhancements in Preview. And the address book in Lion and iCal. So what's nice about this is you can just sort of click on a topic and you jump straight to the topic. So let's try that again. If I want to just go to flagging emails, I just click that, and there you go. It takes you to that. Now what's cool is you can see Don's editing is fantastic. He's very judicious in the call-outs. It's just, I think it's really well done. If you ever want to learn how to do a screencast, you should really just watch how Don does it, because he's so good. I put that on a speed 1.5. Let me put it on regular speed. And let me just give you a taste of what Don sounds like, because his voice is really steady, professional, and good. Okay, so now let's listen to what a little bit of what Don sounds like. So let's go to, let's go to a section here, using Mail in Lion.
Mail in Lion has had a radical revamp in that we have a brand new user interface, and there are some extra features as well. So we'll take you through all the different new features that we have.
So as you can see, he has this really pleasant Liverpoolian accent that's from Liverpool, England. And he's got nice little intro music to chapters, which are his theme. So it's very, very professional. Now, if you go up to the control bar up here, under the drop-down menus, you have services. It works with services. Controls, and all the controls are here that are in the video control bar. Jump back 30 seconds. He's got keyboard controls for that. So like shift, arrow. So it's very useful. Okay, so other menu items, you can under view, you can toggle the chapter list or show the subtitles, which is using the C or S key. So if I press the C key, there you go. I'm toggling the chapters. And the same if I press the S key, I'm toggling the subtitles. So that's pretty cool. You can also view at 50%, enter full screen, actual size. And then, of course, under help, you've got the SCOtutor for Line help, which is very comprehensive. And even if you're offline, you can get it because it's built into the app. So this is a big feature that you wouldn't have if you just had a movie version of the tutorial. So it's got really good documentation in there. So this is definitely a big feature that you wouldn't have if it's a video version. So look, it's a very useful utility. So the bottom line is this: the SCOtutor for Line app is a great app to learn the ins and outs of Lion's new features. The video tutorial is highly professional and polished. Don is a master at doing screencast tutorials on using software on a Macintosh. You will not be disappointed in getting this app. At a mere $3.99, intermediates and power Mac users as well as beginners should get this app. Beginners in particular should buy this app. After learning Don's lesson, you will probably become at least an intermediate Mac user. On a rating system of 5 stars, 5 being the best, I give the SCOtutor for Lion app 5 stars.